All right, so you probably heard about this girl, Lily Phillips, from somewhere in the UK. She's gone viral lately for her antics, her highly just debaucherous behavior on Only Farts, I guess. I don't know exactly if that's where she posted or not. I don't follow this person. I don't follow any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. Doesn't interest me. We got an article here to read and another article to look at, and then I have a different take on some of this stuff than other people have been putting out there for you. Let's take a look at this article from Marca. OnlyFans star who slept with 100 men in 24 hours. I feel guilty. Quote, I feel guilty. The platform star accepted a challenge to have sex with 100 men in 24 hours. Not a difficult task for a young woman to do. Could easily get 100 idiots who would line up for that event. Anyway, before we go any farther, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. YouTube doesn't subscribe people. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter. Let's get down to this article. When the news broke that an OnlyFans star was going to take on the challenge of having sex with 100 men in just 24 hours, many saw this behavior as a clear danger to her. Yeah, that many? Where is it at? They're right. Lily Phillips announced the challenge without regard to the consequences when she announced it. A documentary filmmaker named Joshua Peters contacted her to be able to tell the whole story afterwards. The final document that came to light on December, I think that's supposed to be documentary, that came to light on December 7th on YouTube, an interview full of emotion in which the 23-year-old told the whole process and shows concern for her physical and mental well-being. I don't think she shows concern for her physical or mental well-being at all. I mean, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen snippets of it. Maybe it's in there. Watch the documentary. Maybe she's like, yeah, I'm worried about my well-being in some way, but it's not what I've seen. I think she's having a very negative reaction, but she doesn't be concerned about her well-being. 101 men in 24 hours in a London Airbnb. In the video, the reporter can be seen entering the room where the sexual encounters took place, a place full of tissues, condom wrappers, and a rose placed on top of the bed. What could not be perceived in the video is the smell, as the room stank, something that made the cameraman retch. Yeah, I can only imagine all the bodily fluids. I don't want to know. In her speech, the woman recounted the script she had repeated more than 100 times that day when each man entered the room with phrases such as, come in, make yourself at home, take off your pants, or let's have a good time. Afterwards, and before Josh began to ask questions, the woman began to cry and then said, surprisingly, down there it doesn't hurt. She said before declaring that the experience is kind of like being a prostitute. Kind of like? Yeah. You did it for money. I mean, these men weren't paying you, but you did it for money. She then expressed concern that she had not given the men a good time because of the limitation to only a couple of minutes per sexual act. Well, if she's doing only a couple, like 2 minutes, right, for each man. There was 101 men. So that's 202 minutes. I figured in another minute for them to get in and out. So 304 minutes, something like that. 306 minutes, something. So that's 5 hours, maybe 6 hours for her to do this whole thing. Why you do want to participate in this, I have no idea, but people do apparently. My computer is malfunctioning. I need to get a new computer, I think, because it is not responding to my mouse. It might be the mouse, right? You might be saying, but it's doing other stuff too. Moments after Lily Phillips had slept with 100 men in a day. Let's see what this video is all about. Hold on, let me mute myself so I don't get an echo here.
When was the last time you ate?
I think I had a yum yum, and I think I had a sandwich, and that was and then the rest. It's not for the weak, girls, if I'm honest. It was hard. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it,
It's not like just having sex with someone.
Yeah. Just one in, one out, it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
All right, so we see her starting to break down there. I'm going to see if I can find the clip of her actually starting to cry, actually crying, and slide that in at this point.
I wasn't too sure of what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all. I thought perhaps in years to come she may look back at this day in sadness, but not so instantly afterwards.
But why is she crying? That's a big question. Why is she crying? The quote here is, I feel guilty because many men did not finish. I wonder why. I mean, they were only in you for like 2 minutes. Some men it takes longer than that, especially if you're wearing a condom. Deadens the feeling. So it's surprising that one of her statements was that she felt pressured because some men had not finished. After these words, the documentary filmmaker said, "I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all. I thought maybe in years to come she would look back on this day with sadness, but not so immediately afterwards." Why is she so sad? I mean, this is what she wants to do, right? She's the one who put out the call for 100 men to come and rail her. Why would she be sad about this? Doesn't make sense to me. But maybe there's something else going on here that we can look at and understand what it is that she's going through. However, the situation must not have been so problematic, as the OnlyFans star was quick to launch a new challenge to sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours. "I dreamed it up with my assistant. I can't wait. It's very exciting. It will be a world record, a real challenge. Ideally, it would be done in a large warehouse with 2 doors. I hope each one will last a couple of seconds at most. And off we go," she said. Yeah. Why is this exciting to you? She says right here, it's very exciting. It'll be a world record, a real challenge. That's why it's exciting to her. It's a world record and a real challenge. Oh, so the notion of being so desirable that 1,000 men would line up for you to be inside of you, that's not the exciting part. No, the exciting part is the challenge. So she has deadened herself to love and intimacy, right? This is why she's crying, because she knows that she has dehumanized herself. She is no longer human. She is a receptacle. She is not anything that anybody would want to spend any serious amount of time with. Who would want to be around a person like this? She has friends, and in the clip, like when she's crying, she's hugging one of her friends. Like there's a woman there that she's hugging, and she's breaking down crying because she dehumanized herself. How do I know that she dehumanized herself? I mean, what else could it be, right? Don't worry, I have something we're going to bring up here momentarily. She dehumanized herself by being a receptacle to these men who don't know her and don't care about her. No, not really, anyway. I mean, I'm sure that none of these men wanted to hurt her, but are they going to be there when she's having a bad day? Are they going to be there when she needs to go to the hospital or when she gets sick? Or is she going to be there for them? Is she going to be somebody they can rely on? Because it's a two-way street. Like these relationships you get into, it's give and take and compromise all the way around. Well, let's take a look here. I have some clips from Lana Rhodes. Now, I tried getting these clips from the original video, but that's been taken down. I found them on Abba and Preach. So Abba and Preach are definitely in the video. It's their video. I'm not trying to take credit from them for having done this work, putting this together and kept this video up online so I can use it. Thank you. But the video was already on YouTube. So if you don't know who Lana Rhodes is, she was at one time the most popular female performer in the industry that does this sort of thing, and which to me is horrifying that you would be in that industry, period, but whatever.
Popular, and that's why being the #1 performer in the industry at the time, everyone wanted to make money off me, so they pushed me to do these things. And it just gets really extreme, like you were saying, abuse.
Did you ever go through those experiences where you had to do a scene where it was very aggressive and you just felt like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail. Like, honestly, some of my experiences are really humiliating for me, and I wish that they never happened. There's stuff going on, like people getting pissed on, men are pissing inside of women's holes, down their throats. Sorry.
Oh, don't cry.
See, they're saying it right there. Don't cry. Why would she be crying about this humiliation? Well, when you're humiliated, you feel like you're less than human. You feel like you messed up so bad that you're not an acceptable member of the tribe anymore.
Tell me something negative. Now I'm crying. I'm like, God damn it. No, don't cry.
I'm just giving some examples. But there's really just like crazy stuff going on that damages people's bodies for the rest of their lives. I luckily don't have any issues, but I've seen scenes shot in Europe where guys are literally punching into a girl's asshole like this.
And we'll get to the rest of the clip here, skipping ahead a little bit.
You know, I tried talking to a therapist about before, something that I had to do for a scene that was really rough for me. Basically, this guy had a bowl and I had a bowl, and he like gagged me until I threw up into it. And then he like pissed in the bowl. And during the scene, he asked me to drink it. And I didn't know how to say no. It was one of the most disgusting, foul scenes I ever had to do. And I'm telling a therapist this, and they don't even fucking know what to say to me.
Yeah.
No one can relate. Like, no one fucking knows what to say about it.
I definitely can relate to that. Just even by like working at Hooters, I know I definitely was a sex object.
Exactly, because you made yourself less than human. Human beings don't put themselves into these situations. I don't know what you are now, but yeah, you ruined yourself. Why would a man want you? And it's my understanding that she's still performing. She's still doing this. People have said that she got out. She's like still doing only farts or something. I don't know. Because according to, I mean, Wikipedia, of course, is all lies. We know that, but according to that, she's still active. I don't know. It's ridiculous that you would do this to yourself. And you might be sitting here thinking, well, what about you, anti-woke warrior? You wouldn't do this, right? Let's take a look here at something. I have this other article here from The Spectator. I don't have a subscription to The Spectator, so we can't really read it, but it says the men who exploited Lily Phillips should be ashamed. Yes, they should be. They didn't exploit her, though. She exploited herself. She allowed herself to be exploited. She did this for money. She allowed herself to be exploited for money. She put out the call, worldwide, mind you. Apparently, I didn't hear about it, but whatever. She put out the call worldwide to get 100 men. Do you think out of 3 billion men who are of age in the entire world? I don't know if that's accurate. It's probably more than that. It's probably 3.5 billion or something men. Yeah, you're not going to find 100 men who would be degenerate enough to do this. I mean, she is that much degenerate. Used to be a time when it wasn't up to us to shame the men. If a woman was exhibiting this sort of interest, this sort of desire, she was institutionalized. I mean, I'm not a historian, but that's my understanding. Like, if a woman was exhibiting these types of interests and being used like a receptacle for male ejaculate, then they'd be like, yeah, you need to go into an institution and get healthy because this is not healthy. The subtitle says, when women like Lily talk about being driven by a sexual desire, this is all part of the fantasy constructed for men. Oh, is it? She doesn't have a sexual desire? She doesn't want to be railed for 6 hours, 5 hours, however long it took. There are women who want that. We can read a little bit of the article here. It says, Lily Phillips, who had sex with 101 men in a single day in October, has hit the headlines, but the focus should instead be on the men that exploit her and the men that lined up to have sex with her. Having appeared in the YouTube film, I Slept with 100 Men in One Day, this young vulnerable woman is now planning her next endeavor to have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours, or 1 minute 44 seconds per sexual encounter, nonstop for a day. Doubtless, this publicity stunt will increase her already substantial annual, I'm assuming, salary. Or it could be body count. I'm assuming it's salary, though. I mean, she has a substantial salary. That's why she's doing this. I'm sure that's one of the reasons anyway. But another reason is she has to love this. She has to want to do this. She has to be enjoying this. She says with a smile and a wink, hey, I'm going to do 1,000 men in one day. I did 100, now let's do 1,000. Why would you do this to yourself after you broke down in tears and expressed to the world that you are humiliated and you want to do it even worse now? You have shown what you're worth. You've shown what your value is. And it's nothing but for a spectacle. And not in a good way. This is not anything that's going to be like, oh, you're so much more valuable now. Or, oh, it's neutral, it didn't affect you. No, this is dropping your value as a human being. Idiot. And now you might be saying out there, well, yeah, let's shame these men. I agree. We should shame, these men should be ashamed of themselves. They didn't exploit her, though. They should be ashamed for being degenerates. Why would you want to do this? But they didn't exploit her. And now you might be thinking, oh, yeah, right, anti-woke warrior. You would do the same thing. If you'd known about this, you'd want to, stick your wick in there too, or you'd whatever. If you had the opportunity, you'd jump at it. Well, let me tell you, dear viewer, I have had the opportunity. So I did a lot of self-help groups years ago now. And one of the groups I was in was an all-men's group. And one of the men in the group was a performer in this industry. And one of my chief complaints, of course, was being single and alone. Single and lonely. So he invited me to come party with him and his coworkers. And in disgust, I said, yeah, I'm not doing that. And I should have handled it better. I mean, I was rude about it. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I should have been like, yeah, Neil, thanks. I appreciate it, but that's not what I want. And it's not what I want. I don't want to have some human receptacle as my partner because I'm going to develop feelings, I'm sure, because that's just how I am. And if she's into it, which she probably would be, right? I'm going to be into it and it's going to be a whole event. Now, this woman here has damaged herself, Lily Phillips. She can't repair what she lost. It's gone. You can't go up. You can't say like, well, I was crazy and I did some crazy stuff, but I didn't go that far. But yeah, you did. It's like Lana Rhodes. Yeah, you did go that far. You did allow yourself to be treated like a pile of garbage, something that's subhuman. I know that we all have these desires to be physically attractive and to have a good time with somebody of the opposite. Well, some of us want somebody of the same sex for some reason. I don't understand that, but whatever. Somebody of the opposite sex. Yeah, but yeah, don't let yourself be degraded like this. You can't go back. You can't get that back, Lily. You're done. I don't understand why these people would want to do this to themselves, but here you are. I predict that she's probably going to develop a substance problem. I don't know how serious it'll be. I'm sure she's probably going to be high functioning and still able to maintain a decent standard of living, but I imagine that she's going to develop a substance problem if she doesn't have one already. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the subject matter. don't go woke because you're going to go broke. In this case, it's spiritually. She went broke. Whether the spirit is an actual thing or not is not important because something in her psyche, something in our psyche that we think of as the spirit is broken in her. Because she said, yeah, I'm strong and empowered. Yeah, I go, girl. I'm the queen. I'm the boss, babe. I can do whatever I want to do. I can act just like a man. And like I said, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a historian, please let me know. But we used to institutionalize women who were like this because it's just not, it's not okay for you as a person to be doing this. If somebody came to me and said, hey, you get to do 100 women in one day, I'm like, no, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do 100 in one day? Why would I want to be with 100 people? That's, and thinking about it the other way, hey, you can be a receptacle for 100 men in one. Oh my, no, hell no. No, 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 no. Especially knowing that some of these men probably, because what is it, 1 or 2%, 3%, I think altogether of the male population is either a psychopath or a sociopath. So there's probably a lot of these men, probably a significant number of them who would do this, cannot empathize. Some I'm sure probably did empathize. Some were probably there like, yeah, I just want to have a good time with you. I really appreciate you. But there's a lot of these men that you're letting do things to you that should only be done by somebody who loves you. And these men who are doing it who are incapable of empathy and capable of really, truly loving you. So editing warrior here. Now, since recording this, I have watched the entire documentary. And I was right about everything that I said in this recording with 2 exceptions. One is that some of the men did show regret and remorse and did back out. A lot of them apparently did back out and they had to scramble to find replacements. The other thing that I was wrong about is the length of time it took to do this. It took all day, starting at about 9 in the morning, and it looks like they ended somewhere around 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I don't know how she's going to pull off 1,000 in one day, because the time that they've allotted for each man, 1 minute 44, I think, or 144 seconds. That's not a lot of time. That cue's going to have to move fast. Now, watching the documentary, it's quite disturbing, but it's also quite apparent that Lily Phillips does not at all care about herself, not even a little bit. That's why she's self-destructing. That's why she's doing this. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.